Mike Brookfield here. What's going on? So, how's 2021 treating you? Good, okay? Well, I recently did a couple of modules for the Muse Academy, based on a similar thing that I put up a few months ago. If you remember, I did a video and it was all about string bending and this flashcard system where you have a 2-bar lick and then you have to play a 2-bar lick back and then it's played again and it goes around in rotation like that. So it's basically a website. Check it out. It's Muse Academy, and you can subscribe to it and do learn kind of bluegrass and jazz, and I suppose I've been doing a bit of the blues rock side of it for them. So it was kind of good fun. I mean, I did that string bending module, which is a whole 5 modules of like crazy blues licks, and then they came back to me and said, hey, do you fancy doing an Eric Clapton module or 2, and then maybe a Steve Ray Vaughan module or 2? So I did, and the Clapton ones have just gone up, so I'm just going to do a video on it and, you know, make you aware of it, so maybe check it out if you're interested. So when somebody says, you know, will you do some Eric Clapton licks, you know, what do you do? You know, I suppose you could write some pastiche style licks in the style of Clapton and that, but really, you know, if I was the student, I'd be like, no, forget that. I just want the real thing. I just want Clapton licks. I don't want any sound-alike licks. I want the real thing. Thank you very much. So I thought what I'd do is I'd take like a classic solo like Crossroads, just chop it up into little chunks and use those as the 2-bar licks. And then there's an end goal for you as well, because obviously if you string it all together, you get the full solo. So it's basically what you do anyway when you learn a guitar solo, isn't it? You know, you can't just, you know, start with the first note, learn all the notes in one long line and then rattle it off. You have to take this macro lick, which is your solo if you like, and chop it up into these little micro licks. So let's jump in and have a look, will we? So I've got the Eric Clapton Crossroads 1 here in my study room. So you have these things called modules. And if you look at the modules here, you can see this Eric Clapton Crossroads, Mike Brookfield's blues rock intermediate level. And you'll see there's a lot of stuff that I've written about them as well. Eric Clapton Crossroads 2 we're going to do on this video as well. And that's basically the second half of the first guitar solo. And you can see here there's a whole bunch of other modules and they're all kind of, you know, there's some cool bluegrass ones here by Andy Hatfield. And Christian Miller has done a whole bunch of jazzy things. And there's my kind of fundamental blues stuff that I put up a video on maybe a month or 2 ago. Okay, so let's go into here. I've got this Eric Clapton module 1 and I've got it in my study room. So here you have the lick. I'm going to click on the first lick and press play. And that's basically going to go round and round. That should be me playing. So that is actually for the first 2 licks I included what he does at the end of the first intro, if you like. So this is at the end of the intro. You know, and you can slow it down here. You can take the notation away if you think that you're not internalizing it well. If you're kind of finding it hard to come in and play on this point where it says play, this is supposed to be, you know, me playing. If I can't hear, I can click echo and it'll do it again for me. Yeah, so that kind of helps you out, which is that's actually pretty useful maybe if you can't quite get them in your ear. So that first lick is from the intro, isn't it? And then the second lick here is off the intro as well. It's the second part of this lick. Really hard lick that actually, to get the fluency on it. Okay, so So those two licks there are from the back end of the intro. Then he sings like 3 or 4 verses, doesn't he? And then the guitar solo. So the guitar solo, the first guitar solo is 2 choruses. So you can see licks 3 to 10 here are basically the first chorus of the guitar solo. And then in Eric Clapton Crossroads 2 is the second chorus of the guitar solo. So let's have a listen to lick 3. So that's the opening phrase of the guitar solo. 1, 2. 1, 2. So lick 4 is the second phrase. Great for just that repetitious, keep it going round and round just to get it in your ear. On lick 6 now. So if you hover over it, you'll see like I've made comments about them. A classic B.B. King style lick that raises the intensity by once again introducing the next position with expressive use of vibrato on the root, 2nd string, 10th fret. So, you know, B.B. King loves that. He loves that kind of octave displacement, if you like. So this is kind of like a development of that Clapton style in it. This is cool. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not really sure. Okay, so you can see that's the first guitar solo, you know. Made a bit of a balls of that, but I mean, it's you can see it's a really good way of just getting those building blocks in place and then stringing them all together. Okay, now let's go and have a look at Eric Clapton Crossroads 2, and this is the second half of the guitar solo. So let me turn that off, and here we go. We'll do the same thing. We'll just go through it lick by lick. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty straightforward that, but you've got to get it. 1, 2, 3, 4. tricky little bits in this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Unison Bends. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a good chance to work on your vibrato. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I love the way he does that kind of little semitone pull off and play onto the root. He does that on Hideaway as well, if you've been through that one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These are the phrases that are hard to hear when you're learning on your own. 1, 2, 3. Missed that one. Comes on just after the 2. 1, 2. So it's hard to come in on that. So what you might want to do is use this echo function here if you're not sure when to come in. And then it makes it really obvious, and then you can turn it off. Okay, cool. So you get the idea. What we've done there then, in like the space of like 10 minutes, is we've gone through the whole guitar solo, first guitar solo in Crossroads, and a couple of licks from the intro, and we've chopped them up into those little micro licks, and when you string them all together you get the solo. But that's what you do when you learn a solo. So it's a kind of a really nice way of doing it. And like you can see that there's little comments on all of the licks as well. So I mean, what's kind of hard about working off tab books is they almost give you too much information. When you're working off a tab book, you're kind of looking at all these strings of notes and stacks of notes sometimes, and all you can perceive is one note, but they've given you a stack of notes, and you're kind of going, hang on a minute, the top note in that stack of notes doesn't sound like what I'm hearing. And it's because, you know, sometimes you'll hear a player, and like, especially like Steve Ray Vaughan or something, he'll hit all 6 strings, but you'll only hear one note. But in the tab, they'll have notated all 6 strings, and therefore the melody isn't obvious where it comes out. So when I notated these, I made it really obvious. I took away a lot of information that is not really massively relevant. What you've got to do is try and play in the style of, and make sure that you get the target note right, so you play the most perceivable thing, and you're not just playing it because it says it in the tab book or something like that, because it needs to sound like the record, of course, otherwise we're not kind of reaching our objective. So I hope you enjoyed that. So musicmuse.academy, that was fun to do that again for them. I have done a Steve Ray Vaughan one as well, and I'll throw that at you in a video down the line, maybe next week or something. So please leave a comment, and it'd be nice to hear what you think about this system, this flashcard system. I quite like it, so I think it might go quite well for them. I know they're building it up over time, so you know, if it's not tickling your fancy now, just keep revisiting it, and you might find that it's developed a lot over time. So keep going back there and having a look and maybe checking it out. I can't remember how much it is, but it's probably just a few dollars a month or something like that. So check it out, and please, if you're interested in this channel and guitar lessons and things like that, please subscribe. I'm kind of, even though I've been putting up videos since 2008, I'm only now reaching just like the 9,000 mark. So wouldn't it be nice to reach 10,000? Because if I reach 10,000, I can start flogging your mugs and t-shirts and all that shite. So, but, you know, it would be a nice landmark for me, having kind of, you know, I don't know how many people here have been here since the beginning, but maybe a few of you. So anyway, keep it burning, and I'll speak to you soon.